I swear to God, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the gift that keeps on giving to the grift. I'm sure you guys are well aware. Everybody's talked about it this morning. Ubisoft made a statement. They said the Assassin's Creed Shadows team has a message for our Japanese community. So if you weren't aware, this game has been marked in controversy for weeks on end, especially over the whole historical accuracy of the game pertaining to Yasuke. They've been pushing this narrative that he was a legendary samurai when all he was a retainer. We've had the wrong architecture, the wrong seasons for certain plants in the game. We've had flags from Japanese reenactment groups put in the game without permission. We've even seen the Japanese Expo in Paris have a sword from One Piece being claimed as Yasuke's historically accurate sword. So they have not been able to do anything right with this game. And it's even going to the Japan diet. Yeah, politicians are going to take this to the Japanese government, and it could become a diplomatic incident. So this is more than just a right-wing grift. In fact, we got a petition made by Japanese gamers with almost 95,000 signatures. Probably by the time this video comes out, it would have 95,000 signatures on it of people that are upset, and rightfully so. They feel that their culture has been disrespected. They feel that the lack of historical accuracy in this game is offensive. And I'm with you guys. I've gotten a lot of Japanese people coming in, commenting, voicing their concerns. We're with you. This isn't some right-wing grift. You'll have people say, oh, Eric, this is just fake outrage from grifters like you and Grums who try to get people riled up and create rage bait and this and that. Okay, so you're downplaying actual Japanese people upset signing this, asking for this game to be canceled. We know it's not going to be canceled, but isn't it sad that a game that had so much potential mechanically wise, like this game could be really good gameplay mechanic wise, but it's infected beyond a tragic end with DEI in it, just because they wanted to have a black protagonist who's gay, might I add you, LGBTQ, in ancient feudal Japan that slaughters Japanese people, literally beheads them to hip-hop music. They wanted to get DEI points out of this. Ridiculous. So, yeah, anyways, they made this statement. We're going to take a look at this. This is so pathetic. I butchered this statement on my own tweet, which we'll get into that after this. But let's go ahead and take a look. So they said, to our esteemed Japanese community. So this is written towards all the people that are upset. Okay, keep that in mind. A message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all of your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which is now has its own history spanning almost 20 years. First of all, who's supporting Assassin's Creed Shadows? Nobody. Look at the backlash, the dislikes on all the videos, trailers, gameplay footage pertaining to this game. The Japanese people are upset. Nobody's supporting this. Maybe the original Assassin's Creed games before you made the series a shell of its former self, but you see, over this time, we've explored various settings, time periods, and characters from assassin during the Third Crusade to a Viking in 9th century England and countless more. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long cherished dream, and it's been like that for the Japanese community, which is why they're upset. Again, 95,000, just about. They're upset. They're upset because you wanted to check in DEI checklist. Since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we've received many positive reactions. Yeah, sure you have. But also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. So far, not even an apology to the Japanese community. Sure, they're addressing all the backlash, which is hilarious. This is coming off of a financial earnings call where they said that it's successful, it's being met with positivity, and then literally days later, less than a week later, they had to make this statement. And I already saw a Wokey crying, "Oh, now that they said this, the grifters are gonna milk this for days." Of course we are, because what you're about to read didn't help nothing. In fact, I would say it made matters even worse for them. These people are more focused on literally DEI instead of making good games. Like, these guys literally don't focus on making good games for their product, for their franchises, for the consumers. They don't like gamers, guys. They're more interested in being diverse. So look at this. Overall authenticity efforts, as I stutter all over myself because it's all this weird buzzwords and lingo that you see in manuals about inclusivity and diversity and all this bullshit. The snowflake stuff they teach you in college when you get your liberal arts degree. So overall authenticity efforts, we have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. Now, is that why over 95,000 people have signed saying that they feel that you're not respectful to Japanese history? Go on. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Oh, God. Guys, this is what this whole thing is over. Do you not remember that they were insisting? They made like a fucking video, literally, about who Yusuke was, literally presenting it as historical fact. Like, the whole problem that Japanese people are upset is because Ubisoft and people that they consulted with, like Thomas Lockley, who wrote a 400-page fake biography about Yusuke, these guys are presenting that as historical accurate. And that's why there's a problem. Now, suddenly, the heat's too hot for the kitchen. They're saying it's not supposed to be historically accurate. It's not supposed to be factual representation. All right. Yeah, sure. Sounds like damage control. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity to encourage players to explore and learn more about the historical settings we get inspired by. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. As I hiccup, let me get a sip of my Diet Coke. So they're saying this is supposed to be a fictional story, right? That this is supposed to be a fictional, entertaining video game. Remember, they're trying to say all this stuff about Yusuke was absolutely true. They even consulted with historians and pissed off a whole entire country. Now it's supposed to be a work of fiction, and it doesn't matter if they feel that it's not historically accurate because that wasn't their intent. And they're basically saying, yeah, we see your criticism, but you guys misunderstood the assignment, right? It's not even an apology at this point. It's basically a, hey, you're wrong, fuck off. That's exactly what it is. And then if it's going to be a historical fiction set in feudal Japan, why even use Yusuke is my question. Why even use Yusuke? Why don't you just make a fictional character and make him Japanese? If it's supposed to be a fictional, historical, fictional story for entertainment, why go out of your way to have Yusuke be the protagonist? Because you want to check in a DEI box of having a person of color and be diverse and all this fucking snowflake shit. That's exactly what it is. You could have just put a fictional Japanese man as the main character. You guys make no fucking sense with your statements. So they said, our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. You basically consulted with a whole bunch of woke people, woke historians, woke researchers who wanted you to push Yusuke being the main character, like Thomas Lockley, so he could benefit. Guys, Thomas Lockley is only involved with this so he could sell his books, his fake fictional book about Yusuke. That's why they push it. That's the only benefit to him being involved. And Ubisoft, either they're tone deaf, either they're stupid, or they're closing and turning a blind eye to the whole situation. Because right now, the statement is still ridiculous. Continuing on, they said, despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. So they're just blaming the marketing. They're not even talking about what we've seen in the games, like Japanese people being killed by a big scary black guy to hip hop music. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. You mean in less than 3 months in November? That's a scary sign. Based on the constructive criticism we've received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, they are in no way responsible for the decisions that are taken by the creative teams in the interest of gameplay and entertainment. That's a fucking lie, Thomas Lockley. That is a fucking lie. Everything that they're doing with Yusuke is literally based off of him and his writings. And then check this out. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, both internal and external. So they're over here saying, leave Thomas Lockley alone. Leave all these consulting firms that are injecting DEI into our games alone. We're acting alone on this. My ass. My ass. You guys are not acting alone on this. All of you guys are working together to put this game out there as something immensely fucking woke. And that's why people are upset about it. And to say we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, like you're fucking shielding for them. You're protecting for them. You're literally telling these Japanese people that are upset. Because remember, this is addressed to the Japanese community, not the right-wing grifters. This is literally addressed to a whole country of people that feel disrespected. They're saying, leave the people that they consulted and researched with alone. Your opinion doesn't matter, Japan. Your opinion doesn't matter. And they want you to leave people that consulted in this game and collaborate with it alone. Wow. Now, here's the last thing. Creative liberties and historical inspirations. While we strive for authenticity in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction inspired by real historical events and figures. So, Yusuke is not a real historical figure, all right? He's embellished on, but go on. From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. The representation of Yusuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. Again, if it's a work of fiction, why did you use Yusuke? Why didn't you just create a brand new fictional character? You chose somebody that actually was a human being that had next to nothing about their actual backstory and their history, and you embellished on it only because they are a black character. That's the only reason why you're doing it. And they won't admit it. They're still falling down on that sword. Continuing on, they said, while Yusuke is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. So they're basically saying, yeah, we know that it's probably not true. So he's depicted as a samurai in the game, but in real life, it's a matter of debate. So they're admitting it. They essentially are admitting it right there. We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese shinobi, Naoi, who is equally important in the game, our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadow launches, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we poured into it. Yeah, whatever. Nobody's buying into this nonsense, guys. Now, I'm going to show a couple of reactions to some people that I respect in the community. Hypnotic says, what a pathetic PR statement to beg for Japanese sales. Exactly. I think this game in Japan's going to immensely bomb. It's going to go on sale real quick. Real quick. Continuing on, we have Wizard Ronin actually posted this screenshot from everybody's favorite, Alyssa Mercante, who thinks that if you have a problem with this game, if you are upset about it, that it's a racist response to a video game and is indicative of moral decay, get bent. So remember, she represents the tolerant, intolerant guys. She's always trying to be edgy, an edgelord, full of venom and vitriol, and then she wonders why people talk about her and criticize her. Imagine believing that somebody this insufferable is a good human being. Wizard Ronin says Japan needs to go after Alyssa too, and tags Satoshi Humato, who's the politician that's taking it to the Japan diet. Nobody's going to go after Alyssa Mercante. She has all full right to say what she wants, but just look at this example of how they are. If you have anything bad to say about this game, you're racist. Essentially. Calling out DEI's racist. That's how these people think. It's their echo chamber. That's why they all blame all this on people like Grums and all the other right-wing grifters that were creating fake outrage, that we're the only ones upset about it. Remember, almost 95,000 signatures from Japan. They're just blind. They're stupid. They're all idiots. Very Dark said Ubisoft is genuinely afraid their game won't sell. If they were actually apologetic, accusing them of disrespecting Japanese culture and history, they'd apologize, but there's no sorry inside. Exactly. They could have said, hey, we apologize. At least that, and then explain yourselves. They decided to make franchise history with a playable historical figure, yet clearly took information from sources that only support the vision they had without any care for how the audience would view it. They know this game is forever marred in controversy, and now they're panicking. And exactly, again, like I said, this is so sad because this game has so much potential gameplay mechanic-wise that it's infected beyond any means with DEI is what makes it tragic. This game is going to be dead on arrival because of the DEI on it. Sure, it'll probably sell. It'll meet expectations for Ubisoft, but it's already tainted. It's tainted. Now, Grum says, desperate Ubisoft issues apology to Japan for Assassin's Creed Shadows. On the earnings call, Ubisoft refused to answer if pre-orders for AC Shadows were equal or higher than previous titles. Spoiler alert, they're not. You got them on the ropes. Don't buy this game. Full analysis on this apology later. Reject DEI. They're feeling the pressure. Gamers are turning the tide. Now, I'm not going to go as far to say boycott it. It's your choice to buy a game or not. Speak with your wallet. If you're upset, don't buy it. If it's something that you're not going to want, don't buy it. That as simple as that. I'm not calling for the game to be canceled. It's still going to come out. I'm just calling out the bullshit, pathetic fucking damage control and efforts that they have to protect this whole Yusuke narrative that they're going on. Now, continuing on, he says, Japan's trashing Ubisoft in the replies. 9 million views and counting. As some say in Japan, if Ubisoft really wanted to make AC Shadows fiction, why didn't they just use a fictional character and make him Japanese? And yeah, and this is in the Japan version of the statement, which I believe has comments edited, actually. That part about Yusuke being a samurai is a debatable conversation or something like that. The section in here, I'm freeballing right now, or freestyling right now, but in there, I believe it's a little bit reworded. I don't know if that's to not piss off Japanese people or not, but they're getting cooked. They're getting absolutely cooked. You can go and look at all this in Google Translate. The Japanese people are fucking furious. As a matter of fact, just for funsies, let's pick a random comment. Let's see what this one says. What about Thomas Lockley? He used that book as a reference when making the game, so shouldn't he be held responsible? So you can see they're calling it out. And again, Ubisoft already ran cover for him, saying, don't put him in there, or don't attack them. Keep the criticism away. Fantasy means it's a fictional setting. You can see people are just calling it all out. What's written is so vague that it makes you think they must have been told not to mention it by headquarters, right? So I mean, they're getting absolutely buried. Let's find another random comment. Here we go. Let's do this. I think the story about Yusuke should just be considered fiction based on Yusuke. The issue of historical retelling is no longer a UBI issue, but a Lockley issue. However, Yusuke is no longer the problem. So now they're going to say it's plagiarism of materials from manga organizations, culture heritage sites, misinterpretation of Japanese history, basically calling everything out. Not just, it goes beyond just Yusuke now. And I even saw some little woke ass try to say today that that's all gamers are focused on, when that's not the case. See, look, it's so roundabout that I don't know what you're trying to say. It's just a whole bunch of corporate speak. They say a lot, but not much of anything except what they need to say, which is, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We are sorry that we made this shit game that all of you guys are upset about. that we injected DEI in it. But they won't do that because it goes against the narrative. It goes against everything that they want to push as far as what they want out of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is DEI points.